And we are live.
Survivor specialists Phil and Alexa are back. Episode 2 of Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers is in the bag. So much to talk about here. We obviously only have one place to start, and that is with Alexa spoiling the episode for me. Oh, did you guys think we were going to talk about Will first? No, we're not talking about Will first. We need to talk about Alexa spoiling the episode for me. She looks confused. What's going on? Is there something going on?
I have the two live streams are going within 10 seconds.
Oh, yes, so you hear it at the same time.
Yeah, so I heard way too much Phil at the same time.
Yep.
But yeah, so pretty much to provide some context, Phil and I need to never speak in between the end of me watching it and the end of him watching it.
I go to her. I say to Alexa, I go, hey, why don't you score the boot lists while we wait? So we can have like updated boot lists. She texts me like 2 minutes later and says, hey, so people with Simone get -1 or 1. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I watched the challenge and I'm like, oh, good. They got out to a huge lead. So like she was just trolling me. And then they lose. And I was like, what are you doing?
So the best part of it is Phil responds, wow, with like 17 exclamation points. And I'm like, okay, Phil, I know I'm bad at math, but don't be demeaning about it. And then I realized that his wow is that the fact that I just spoiled him out of absolutely nowhere. So I was like, I did everything right. Like I told Phil to turn off Twitter. Like I have been, like not liked anything. I've been so quiet, but I freaking text him who goes home. So Phil and I are going on like full blockade mode until podcast time from now on.
Jesus,
I'm so sorry.
Shocked.
I'm so sorry about it, but at the same time, I mean, as soon as Ryan said Simone was weird, I was like, all right, do I need to watch the next 45 minutes of this?
I mean, even the way that Simone talked at the beginning, like you could just tell she wasn't fitting in. I mean, right away they were saying that she didn't fit in with anybody. This was something that I called right from the beginning. I think did I put her at 18 in my boot list? I don't have the Google Drive up.
I don't have it up right now. Also, you said Lauren wasn't fitting in, but we'll get there.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Lauren still might not be fitting in because she is still butting heads with the strongest guy on the tribe, which is never a good thing. But I will say what's so interesting about this tribal council tonight is that they come in 6 people. Lauren's name doesn't come up. Ryan's name doesn't come up. It's Simone versus Patrick, and really Patrick was a complete red herring. It was totally Simone the entire way. There was never even a question in doubt. But it's really interesting to me that the smallest guy out there and the woman who really shouldn't fit in never even get their names brought up. And really Ryan and Allie are by far my 2 favorite people on the season right now. Like I texted you that and I was like, I really mean that. They're my 2 favorites on this season out of any tribe. I love them right now. Like, and I know Allie is my preseason winner pick, but she is the hub of that tribe. And I have some worries from her that I'll talk about in a little bit, but she's the hub of that tribe. And I love what we're seeing from Ryan because he's not overbearing. He's so self-aware, but he's not like he's self-deprecating, but not in an, oh my God, I'm so neurotic and I have no way of surviving out here way, like a Cochran or like a David. He's doing it in a very like keeping his composure. He's the life of this party and he's cool with that. He's not the life of the party because he's neurotic. He's the life of the party because he's genuinely just a funny guy who's out there doing this. And he's so confident. I keep saying that. He is confident, and that's what separates him from a Cochran and from a David.
Yeah, no, I'm having a blast with him. And I was looking at my notes while you were talking to try to find exactly what he said. But he said something so subtle when they just started with the whole, like, Patrick being crazy thing. I think Patrick was fighting the crab, and that crab looked like it could kill him. Like, that thing looked terrifying. And then Ryan, like, absolutely deadpans, just like, do you need a real man to help you out with that? Like, it was like, do you need a man's touch? That was it. And I asked my roommate, I was like, did he just say that? Because that was so funny. But yeah, preseason we got a lot of him, and I think people were not pleased with that, but I'm really liking what we're getting from him. And even before the challenge, we got Ryan foreshadowing a absolute alliance with him and Chrissy. I mean, the fact that he even said that says that that's going to happen. But he's thinking so far ahead, and he's thinking very intelligently too. I mean, he's not saying anything outrageous. He's not doing anything outrageous. He's playing the game so well. And Allie is the hub, but I feel like he's thinking farther ahead than she is. She's just so naturally likable and just a natural leader. She's in a great position on that tribe. Everyone wants her.
Yeah, and I will say, I think the Hustlers are the most likable tribe out there right now because Lauren's got the whole underdog story. Patrick's just a goofball, and honestly, I don't think Patrick is annoying them as much as they're playing it up to be. I think Patrick is annoying Lauren, and I think that they had to play it up a lot tonight so that they could show him as like an outsider to give you some sort of suspense that it might not be Simone going home because really these first two boots are very predictable if they tell it cut and dry like the story is. And what I think is interesting about Patrick is really generally, it seems like everybody likes him. It seems like everybody's laughing with him. They look at him as more of a joke. They're trying to call him unpredictable. He's not unpredictable in a gameplay sense, though. He's unpredictable in like we don't know what he's going to do around camp, but he hasn't shown himself to be unpredictable in a, man, I'm going to backstab you guys and look at these things. I'm going to look for idols. He's just throwing a crab around.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we haven't heard any strategy from him, which I'm perfectly fine with. Patrick had a confessional early on that you could have just copied and pasted from Nicaragua Fabio. Like it's a complete copy paste job, and it's fine. It's funny. It's like a little bit goofy, and yeah, I'm sure like it would bother me a little bit, or a lot because he's like doing, I don't know, flipping the can over, but like you said, nothing egregious, nothing outrageous. Mm-hmm. So him and Lauren are going to butt heads. That's naturally going to happen. But he's not, I think he's just annoying them rather than causing massive issues.
Yeah, and I just don't see him going next time either if they lose. Like, I don't know. I just don't have that vibe from him. I feel like Ali, it's so funny. Like, just the more you watch it, the more that you know that they know each other. It's so funny watching. Like, I've been with him since day one. It's like it's day 6. You guys haven't been with him
since 2014.
Yeah, exactly. That's the real thing. Like, you can't sit here and tell me like, I've been with him since day 1. It's 6 days in. You're on a 6-person alliance. You've been with all of them since day 1. Like, there's nobody. I guess Simone was the outcast, and that's why she goes home. But, that's going to be a very predictable boot. So you got to give us something. Patrick's probably not going on to win the game. So why not show him as being this huge goofball who's rubbing somebody the wrong way? He gets the other vote. You want a reason for him to get the other vote. This way, when his name comes up, you're like, it could possibly happen. But yeah, I was really never in doubt that Patrick was.
Yeah, I was in doubt a little bit during tribal council because when he said the most versus all thing, I was like, he's going to toss this out the window somehow. And this is what I loved this episode. This was a really great episode because I feel like we got so much content and we still got a confessional from most people, like multiple confessionals. And this was just an amazing, incredible example of getting a lot of strategy out to us, but putting it on top of character moments. I feel like I learned a lot about where people stand in their alliances in big picture. And I got a lot of funny, interesting, different character moments. I thought it was an excellent, excellent episode.
And I was going to say that it felt like a really dense episode. And I like this when you have the 3 tribes, it's so easy to hop around from person to person because there's so few on each tribe. And you got to go to at least every beach once, which means you're going to get at least 2 from every tribe, which is pretty much all we saw from the healers tonight. Winner probably not coming from the healers. I'm calling that right now. But anyway, that's beside the point. But like, you have to jump around, so you're getting a lot of moments. And when they only have one challenge on top of that, it's really, really great. Like, I think it's so much better to do it that way because you got multiple visits to each camp, which is what is the key. You're getting time with Cole and Jessica out in the water. You see them all sitting there talking about Desi. You have Joe talking about Mike. I was surprised Mike didn't get a confessional, but whatever. So you have Joe talking about Mike, Joe and Cole looking for the idol. That's a lot at the healer camp for a tribe that didn't lose and you only got 2 confessionals. Or 2 people confessionals from that tribe. That's a lot that went on there. Then you go over to the heroes. I mean, I feel like I know so much about the dynamic of the heroes now. JP's out there catching the fish. Chrissy is looking at everybody as a possibility. It's her and Ben, or it's her and Alan, or it's her, Ben, and Alan, or it's her, Ben, and Ashley. JP doesn't talk to anybody. You know so much about all of these people who won. And then you look at the tribe that lost, and you got to know all of them too. And I really felt like it was a really dense episode, especially coming off of last week where people feel like it was really rushed.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes from who was talking. Because, I mean, the Joe, Cole, like Jessica thing, that was just a really good story. Also, the editing where the camera ran through the woods from the idol to the well was amazing. I loved that. I don't think they've done that before. I really, really liked it. It was not too subtle, but that's what I wanted. It put us on the beach with them. But what I love about Chrissy, and I am all in on Chrissy, she's awesome. But she was just such a good narrator because she took it was perfect. She takes her job. She takes her hero's job. She says, I'm an actuary. I take a current situation and I use this current situation to decide what my next move is. So now I'm going to have one-on-ones with every single person. We then get a confessional with each of those people. She just lays out the entire tribe layout for us and hands it to us on a beautifully well-spoken silver platter. And there we got our 10 minutes of Heroes Tribe, and I feel like I know them. I feel like I don't even meet them next week because I know what's going on. It was excellently done.
Yeah, and just for anybody who's keeping track at home, JP is somebody that the producers, he's not fun. And I don't think JP is a bad player. I don't think that he's a naturally boring person, but he is not fun. He is Tyler Fredrickson, who I didn't mind watching play. I don't mind watching these people play. But the fact that JP is getting confessionals, it's very much like Ken in my book, where they're giving this guy confessionals when he's winning, and they know that there are huge characters on this season. Remember, JP's tribe just won, and we got a confessional from JP. Mike's tribe also just won, and we got nothing from Mike. So I think that says a lot about where JP is going in this game, because who's naturally going to be more fun, Mike or JP? It's always Mike 100 times out of 100. But they're giving more screen time to JP, which makes me think, oh, man, JP is going to be around for a while.
See, I go the complete opposite way on JP, because what we got a funny, like, we're not dating or hooking up, but I kind of wish we were, because at least I could get all the bang for my buck on this, which was really funny, but also said completely deadpan. But what I took away from that is he said, I'm not a drama guy. I'm not a strategy guy. I'm just here to catch some fish and lobster and do some things and play some Survivor. And I took that as whether JP goes home next week or whether JP makes it to the final 3, that's what we're getting. He told us up front that we're not getting a lot of strategy, and that's what's happening. So now I feel like we're not going to get many JP confessionals because we got it. This is what's happening, and that's the end of that.
Well, no, because I still think it's very much like Ken, because Ken told us straight up that he wasn't like that either. He got a lot of confessionals pre-merge, and then once the merge hit, he got like nothing because the game really started to explode on itself. So I kind of feel like what they're doing is they're giving us more JP now, where the boots are very predictable in terms of Katrina, in terms of Simone. I think that that's why they're giving us more JP now, because once the merge actually hits and the game starts exploding on itself, and you have people like Ryan's going to be there at the merge, Allie's probably, well, Allie, I actually don't know. I'll talk about that. But, you know, you're going to have Ryan there at the merge. You're going to have Cole, probably Joe. You have these people who are going to be making things explode. And JP's not going to be able to fit into the storyline then. You know, you're going to have Chrissy and Ben doing their thing. So I think that what they're doing is I think they're setting him up exactly how they set up Ken. And I think this is something to watch going forward is the more JP gets confessionals here, tells you that this guy is going very deep in this game.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Just, I guess, like a different roundabout way of saying it. I interpret this as, okay, I got my JP confessional. I can say bye to him for the next 6 weeks, and I'll talk to him then. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's all we're getting from him from now, except for being a background character, because it seems like Ashley is kind of like ready to get out of her way.
Yeah. So, and I think that when it comes down to it, Chrissy, Ben, they'll choose Ashley. I think that's what they're going to end up doing. I also don't think it's really going to matter. I think that we're probably going to get one more thing and then a swap, or maybe 2 more, but I think it's going to be 1 more. I think they might do it at 15, where they then decide to go, you know, like what they did in the last it wouldn't be like the last season because they didn't have a beach set up. So I'm trying to think like how I think it'll shape up. I mean,
I'm glad we're at least getting 1 more. I'm glad we're at least getting 1 more. I hate when they do, you know, we do 2 trials and we're switching it up.
Yeah.
I think it's one, I mean, I don't know how it laid out, but it's not like the heroes went home back to back and now there's only 4. It's a level playing field. And then who knows, maybe Cochran will come back on his exile vote when it's 7-1.
So then we go over to, we'll talk about the healers now, where the healers, you had a lot with Cole and Jessica. And actually, I'm pretty sure in the preview that came up, I was saying this to you, pretty sure that Jessica says something about like kissing Cole or something. And then it like kind of got cut. And then they showed a scene for next week, and I think that scene was in there again with the 2 of them laying on the beach, because we didn't really get that tonight. And her kissing him on the cheek, and we saw that in a preview for this week's episode, and then it was in the preview for next week's episode. So I think that they cut something to show it for next week, but we still did get a lot of the 2 of them with like their little thing, and Cole just like swooning.
Yeah, I know, he was so funny. He was like, she's 30. I hope she looks at me and thinks I'm pretty. Like, I think she thinks you're pretty. I think it's going to be fun.
I don't think you have to. I think that's like the one time a 30-year-old woman would go down to a 25-year-old man, is whatever the hell he is.
But they're definitely a different kind of showmance. Like they're making it a slow burn kind of thing. Because the first episode, she talks about how dreamy he is. Second episode, he talks about how dreamy she is. At this point, Angie's already gone in the Malcolm and Angie conversation. So they're really building this up to last a while. And the Figgy Taylor thing, like, that lasted longer than I expected it to, but I think that's just the way that the chips fell, and that didn't even last that long. So this, I don't really know. I feel like this is going to go distance.
Here's my thing. When was the last time we actually rooted for a showmance? You don't.
No, you don't.
You don't. And I think that's what's happening on this season right now is they're trying to set up Jessica and Cole as a rooting interest, which is very interesting because, you know, with Figgy and Taylor was always a pain in the ass. Like, you know, he was fun to watch, but he was a pain in the ass. Stealing the food, throwing Adam under the bus, like at the beginning of the game, just being Taylor. He was always a pain in the ass. With Cole, he's not. They showed Cole tonight, like, he helps Joe find that idol. You know Joe has never given him that idol. You know Joe is sitting there going, I have the idol now. It's my idol. Which I don't blame Joe for doing that because good on you. You used the guy. You got it. You don't need him anymore. I don't blame him. But they still showed Cole as being like, he couldn't have done that without me. He needed me. Cole is being shown in this really positive light. And so is Jessica. And normally on these showmances, at least one of them is shown negatively. Even if you go all the way back to Boston Rob and Amber, Boston Rob was shown very negatively on that season. You know, so it's interesting.
Yeah, and even to push that further, I've just realized this as we were talking. You have two massive super fans on the Healers tribe. You have Rourke and you have Mike, and you have Desi who binge watched God knows how many episodes in this period of time. These people know what showmances are. And the fact that we did not get a Rourke or Mike confessional, first of all, whatsoever. Second of all, about them saying, oh man, I don't know, Cole and Jessica, they're hanging out in the water lot. Got to cut that up. Got to break them up. The fact that we did not see that, because you know that they know, means that this is portrayed positively. This goes back to our article. Rate it, people. The evolution of what we're told. I'm telling you.
Exactly. And I think I'm going to write something up after we do this podcast tonight. I think I just decided that nobody has to read it. I don't really care, but I feel like I kind of want to just like put my thoughts on paper after like talking to Alexa and all of this. But I really think that like this Cole Jessica thing is something that's so unique right now because we hadn't had a showmance for a while. I even hate saying that word. It like bothers me. Like it actually like makes my stomach turn. As Patrick would say, it just makes my stomach hurt. But like that's like kind of how I feel. But you're watching the two of them and it's so positive. And then I also look at watch out for Joe and Mike because that's not over yet. Joe was aggressive towards Mike last week, but he's even saying it now. I like Mike. Mike's a good guy. And now that Joe knows that Mike doesn't have the idol, I don't think Mike is number one on Joe's hit list anymore because I think he likes Mike. I think it was just about, I want to make sure this guy doesn't have the idol. Now Joe knows he has it. I don't think Mike is number one on his hit list anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because this isn't the tribe to have a hit list on. You want a hit list on the Hustlers tribe, probably, or on the Healers, or on the Heroes tribe. The thing with the Healers is like Cole and Jessica are off, like, you know, just tanning. Rourke and Desi and Mike seem to just be very like happy where they are. It seems like a very like Blood versus Water, the returning tribe, where they're like, I don't know, man, like let's just hang. And then there's Joe like trying to make something happen. So I feel like his hit list needs to wait a little bit, you know?
And the thing is, though, like his hit list, now we know Cole is in the corner of Joe. And we know that Jessica's going to go where Cole goes. So that's a 3-person alliance right there.
See, I don't think Cole and Joe are going to work together.
They might. Well, I think what's going to end up happening is it looks like Cole is going to start talking to Jessica like, hey, should we get rid of Joe now? I don't think that they are going to do that. I think that's another one where it's like, hey, let's put this out there. This is actually going to be a power couple. This is going to be a power couple that's actually able to move forward in the game, doing something together where they might not necessarily get rid of Joe now, but they still know he has the idol and they know they can get rid of him whenever they want. It's going to be a matter of who can strike first, Joe or Cole and Jessica. But they're going to work together at first because I think Cole and Jessica are saying to themselves, hey, Joe would probably use that idol for us if we hit a swap and we're down in numbers. He would probably use that to help us out so we can all stay together. Yeah,
that's a good point. I don't know. I don't see them working together at all. I think like that isn't a red herring, what we're seeing next week for Cole saying, hey, let's actually get rid of him. But we'll see what happens. It's a fun dynamic. They're all in a group of 6. there's naturally going to be a lot going on, but it is funny when you have one person who's like really just trying to play the game so hard, two people showmancing, and then the other three, I mean, we have not seen much.
All we know is Mike
whatsoever.
is ugly.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
That
Mike
was
is
so
ugly.
funny.
Desi was Miss Virginia, and Rourke we said absolutely nothing of tonight.
Yeah, well, we did see her curse after they came back and won the immunity challenge, which we'll talk about in a sec. But that was great. But yeah, I thought it was really funny. Like Mike and what's his name, Joe. Like Joe's banter at Mike. I know some people might be sitting there going, "Oh my God!" Like he's calling this guy ugly right to his face. Joe was doing the self-deprecation where you're also throwing somebody else under the bus, and Mike is a very self-deprecating guy. You know, Mike was sitting there saying, you know, he was saying the same thing as Joe. Hey, we're ugly, man. What the hell are we doing on this drive? Like, I don't belong here with these pretty girls. Like, this Miss Virginia, I'm over here. Mike's also saying he doesn't even have the smarts. Like, get out of here. You're a freaking doctor. Like,
and Joe called him out. He was like, "You're a doctor."
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was all funny. There was no bullying there. That was funny.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that. I thought that was funny. I think we're going to see an interesting dynamic. That could be the odd couple of the season. That could be even more odd than this Ryan Devin thing, which we can keep talking to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat at least a little bit. And
yeah,
that was pretty funny. Anyway, but anyway. So then we go over to this Hustler tribe, which they end up losing eventually. But we kind of talked about this whole dynamic. We didn't really talk too much about like where Devin is fitting in. I think that Devin, where do you think you see this going? Do you see it as Ryan and Allie and then Devin? Or do you see it as like Ryan and Devin and then Allie? Because I'm seeing it as Ryan and Allie.
I fear for Allie, and you texted me this, so it's your theory, so you're the one who should be running with this.
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Allie is everyone's friend, but who is Allie's friend? Allie and Patrick are short term. Allie and Ryan, I feel like they're just the two like head honchos of their tribe. Allie she's kind of like the floater in high school. Everyone likes her and she works with everybody, but she doesn't have. It's Ryan and Devin with Allie, and then Chrissy coming out of the clouds.
Yeah, I don't
know. That's what I think. Where are you going with that?
Well, my whole thing why I fear for Allie is very vocal, but I'm not getting like a winner vibe from Allie. I'm getting like she's got her head in the game. She's very smart. She knows what she's doing. But what I'm kind of getting from Allie more than anything is that Allie is being set up where there's going to be a swap and she's the one who gets screwed by the swap. Because she doesn't have that person that she's super, super tight with. And this is why, like, they showed her and Ryan talking to each other tonight. And to me, I almost feel like that's the brain trust of this tribe. The two of them are the ones who are going to be making the decisions, and Ryan's going to report back to Devin and tell him what happened. But, but when they split up, if Ryan and Devin get split up, Devin can survive on his own and Ryan can survive on his own. What I fear with Allie is that if she gets split up, she's going to be seen as like a really big threat. Whereas I think Ryan can kind of use his self-deprecation to not be seen as a threat. And Devin still comes across as kind of like, hey, man, this is fun. Whereas Allie just has her head so in it that I could see that actually hurting her when a swap comes.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what I was going to say on top of that is Allie's having a great first week. And people have an amazing first week who aren't named Kim or Brian usually don't do that well. So I'm a little nervous for her on that part. But it's my main point with her is she's got a ton of friends, but she doesn't have a best friend.
Yeah,
that's what I'm nervous about for her.
Yeah, well, let's go over. Let's talk about this challenge, and let's just say, let's start first of all. If you haven't watched the CBS Survivor thing that they put up, like the challenge behind the scenes, just go and watch that so you can see how terrible of an actor Will is. He literally in his apartment. This is not a joke. So this is a look inside the life of Will Arbuckle. In his apartment, he has a playbill from when he was in like first grade or something that has his name at the top because Will Arbuckle was like first billed because it was alphabetical order for like a high school play or some stupid
Why
thing.
is he hanging that up in his room?
I don't know. It's so funny. I mean, I think he's doing it as a joke, but then you go and you watch what became of that first billed playbill first grade guy. Pretty freaking hilarious. Because if you watch that video between Kierhofer, Jeff, and Will, I'm glad that they all work on a reality show because that was pretty bad. But it's hilarious.
Bad all around.
It's great. It's so funny. I mean, they're talking about the challenge, and I really do think that they were impressed with this challenge. I will say,
the puzzle's great.
Yeah, I hate Will. I love ripping on Will. Anytime I can get a shot in at Will, this puzzle is exactly what this show needs. Something that every time they spun that thing, you're like, oh my God, it's going to go. Oh, nope, it didn't go through. It clanked into the post. Oh, it's going to go. Oh, nope, it didn't go through. It clanked into. Watching the Hustlers mess it up over and over and over again was a thing of beauty. Because when somebody messes up a word and they say, Jeff, I think we got it. And Jeff goes, no, you don't. Or when somebody has to just put numbers in some sort of order, Jeff, I think I got it. No, you don't. This was you literally just watching them spin this thing. And I think that makes it pretty cool because you know right away, oh my God, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And then that one piece just comes and smacks it. And that's exactly what just kept happening to the Hustlers.
Yeah, and there's only one piece that fits because there were some that were close. And even still, it was so suspenseful. And all we have done is complain about, oh, they're doing some athletic thing and then they're jumping over this and now they're doing a puzzle. And this was that same build out, but there was some suspense to that puzzle. It was an equalizer puzzle, but it was relevant to previous seasons, which I'm always into. And it, like you said, they just kept spinning it and they kept failing. And you didn't know who was going to lose, except for the fact that I told Phil that the Hustlers were going to lose.
Yeah.
And one other thing that was funny to bring up, Phil and I rewatched Survivor Guatemala in the off season. Highly recommend watching our podcast about those. But we recently followed Brian Corden on Twitter, and his live tweets are freaking hilarious. And he tweeted, of course, Guatemala is left off of this map.
Yeah.
Guatemala has been erased from Survivor history. That was horrifying. And then on top of that, what kind of challenge is this? A water challenge.
Yep.
How much did we call that?
Yeah, I know. And I will say, I remember because Will would send me like his little challenge ideas and be like, Phil, do you think this works? Do you think this works? And this was like his first idea or second idea. And this was like the best one he had. I don't know if any of his other ones made it on. He tells me things all the time. But I kind of hope that this is one of those challenges that actually becomes like something that we see every now and then. Would you rather see this or would you rather see them try to figure out metamorphosis? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, cool. We did it as buoys instead of as blocks. It's still the same dumb concept. This is so much different. And it looks so simple in concept. I mean, it's like just put the longer one, you just wanted to barely miss that spot. But it's not that simple. I mean, you saw the Hustlers had a huge lead. And what's a great sign of a Survivor puzzle? When somebody has a huge lead and the other team can come back on them, not because the first tribe is just standing there going, I have no idea. They're spinning it and just not able to figure out which one piece they were messing up, which is what made it a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was a really good puzzle. And then also, like going backwards, we have Ashley, the lifeguard, who couldn't get down there and untie her knots. That was insane.
And Devin was the king of this. And I guess Devin, he's like a surf instructor, so it does make sense. Yeah. But Devin was getting down there. He was the king of that. They had a huge lead. And I was like, oh, Allie and Simone got this. And that's why I thought you had texted me and said, if somebody had Simone in 18th, do they get -1? I was like, oh, okay. Like,
imagine.
Like they win, like whatever. So Alexa was just joking. And then she wasn't just joking. But then, you had the healers come all the way back and Rourke just like looks at the camera and says some curse word that they had to blur out. But that was kind of funny. I mean, they are putting Dr. Mike at the end of all of these challenges, and Dr. Mike is performing every time. He killed it in the puzzle in the puzzle thing last time, and he killed it here this time. I mean, he's doing great in the role that they're putting him in, which I think is awesome because you always want to see this older, goofier guy come out there and be able to pull it out. And I thought it was interesting. The sit out was Joe. I think that's a very interesting thing. Joe sits out of this challenge. It's like, I wonder why.
I thought it sounded like a good move because they probably didn't, he or they, whoever made the decision, didn't want him on the puzzle. And if you aren't like a huge swimmer, then there isn't much of a purpose for you in this kind of challenge. Joe's useful in 9 out of 10 challenges, but either he or they decided that he wasn't much of a swimmer. Going back to like who was assigned to the puzzle though, obviously you put Chrissy on it and Chrissy crushed it, but they had Alan on and I was just so afraid he was just going to start like screaming at her or just like flip the whole thing over. But no, he was all good.
I actually think Alan calmed down a lot going like this week. I think there was a lot of fear, and I think that happens a lot with the first boot. I mean, we've heard so many things about the South Pacific first tribal where everybody knew that Cochran wasn't going home, but Cochran still sat there and like almost got himself voted out because he wouldn't shut up. And I think there's a lot of fear about being the first boot. And I think Alan is a professional athlete who played for numerous seasons in the NFL. I think that in his head is like, I can't be the first one out. I can't be the first. And I think paranoia got the best of him more than anything.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what Chrissy said too. She's like, you make it through that first tribal council. Look at where she is now versus where she was last week. It's a completely different ball game. So you bring up a good point. Being the first boot and being the second boot shouldn't be very different, but mentally they are.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the rundown of all of that. I mean, it ends up leading to Simone going home, which isn't shocking in the slightest bit, whether you knew it was coming or not. This was a pretty, cut and dry. There's no way on a tribe of this small, like Ryan keeps saying, we just got to get to the swap. We got to get to the swap. So they are thinking swap, but you can't be thinking swap at 16, and you don't want to lose again and then end up having to get rid of Simone anyway. It's like, just get rid of Simone first and then hope that you can win one with Patrick, because Patrick is far and away the biggest guy on this team. I mean, you have Ryan, you have Lauren. Allie, I'm sure, can pull her own, but all we've really seen is her do puzzles. But, like, you can't get rid of Patrick, who, even though he didn't dive down and do anything today, if there's any type of dragging challenge, Patrick is going to be necessary.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if we can move into the Patrick and Lauren thing, because I wanted to say that, like I've been saying, Lauren is assimilated into this tribe. She's afraid of not, like she said, I'm the oldest person on this tribe. I'm afraid of not fitting in. But at the moment, she is fitting in. And she said in her pregame press that she was stubborn. And she and Patrick are going to butt heads just because of the way that they are. But she is assimilating so much better than people expected her to. And I really I put this on my hot takes. I think she can make the merge. No.
Your hot takes don't say you think she can make
the merge. She will make the merge.
Yeah, your hot takes say that Lauren will make the merge. So
I want to talk. JP do?
He flexed his abs, which I actually thought was funny. You actually didn't really put anything that JP said, except for the JP is not a power couple with Chrissy. I thought it was so funny how he just kept trying to drive that home. Like, I'm not a power couple.
Like, me and you do not like each other.
Yeah, it was like being called like a freckle face or something, which, by the way, I really want Lauren to lose because, like, who doesn't trust redheads? Like, what is your problem, girl?
Yeah, that is you want to talk about hot takes.
Yeah, geez. Like, hey, I don't trust fishermen. Like, get out of here.
I have never trusted a fisherman
in my life. But you also said, this is the other one that I kind of want to bring up here. Patrick will go down as a top 3 pre-merge disaster. So you think Patrick's going pre-merge? You don't think he's hitting the merge?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if I needed to clarify that on there because I know Patrick didn't go home. I still think he's going pre-merge.
Okay. Yeah. Because
this was a short-term foreshadowing of what happened tonight.
So you're thinking that, like, this guy is the guy who comes out, tries to be the life of the party, isn't as dumb as Drew Christie, and then ends up going home because he was trying too hard to be the life of the party.
Well, isn't as dumb as Drew Christie is, like, still not a good thing. And that what I'm nervous about, this is like the Allie conversation. We have a swap. It's him and Allie, or it's him and Lauren, or it's him and Ryan.
Well, if it's him and Allie, they'll still work together. He's very clearly, like,
they'll still work together, but I think yeah, that's a good point. But he doesn't have that many. He doesn't, other than Allie, who I actually think would probably, if she was presented with a better opportunity, she would dump him. So I just think he doesn't have any close enough friends where if he's in a swap, he is going to piss them off because now he doesn't have allies and he's still jumping around with crabs in his pants.
Yeah, and speaking of dumping people, the lack of #AquaDump will be the biggest disappointment of the season. I was really surprised.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was like perfect timing. Could have had a sick Simone AquaDump.
I know. We're 0 for 2 on AquaDumps. Everyone's talking. What's his face? Darnell, first one out. He pooped in the motion.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, that's why these people on red. If you're on a red tribe and you go and take a dump in the water, you're going home.
Oh my gosh, red tribe too. Yeah. I'm just saying we have a gastrointestinal issues, but we don't have #AquaDump. I was just waiting for that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So Simone ends up going home. We're going to see how this plays out going forward. I mean, I still think that Patrick's going to be okay if Patrick ends up. I think that Allie will dump Patrick if she has to. But if it comes up where it's like, will you work with Patrick in order to form a foursome? Yes, she's going to work with Patrick. She's not going to just blindly abandon Patrick just because she thinks that he's annoying.
No. I don't think.
But I do think that eventually she will.
I don't think it'll be a blind dumping at all. I just got so much dumping. I just think
blind dump.
If blind dump, #blind dump on the Phil and Lex podcast. I'm just saying if there's a swap and Cole and Jessica come up to Allie or Chrissy and Ben come up to Allie, Patrick's already in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. She's still looking for something better, but I still think that right now she was talking about using Simone. Well, Simone's gone. Who's easier to use than the guy who's literally staring at you with a big goofy smile on his face every single time he sees you?
There's nothing easier.
It's nothing easier. So I don't think that Patrick's going anywhere. At least for a little bit. Do you have so power rankings? Alexa put a hurting on me. She gave me like a 16-8 there. In the fantasy draft, I know that I'm the only one who still has my whole tribe intact. MVP, LVP, Alexa. We haven't really talked about that.
We haven't really talked about that. Let me go back to LVP. I actually can get my LVP before I can get my MVP. LVP, I gotta give it to Patrick. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, like pretty cut and dry. I mean, I just don't. I think his one ally isn't even that tight with him. He's pissed off Lauren, who's, maybe she's on the outs of her tribe, but you're on a tribe of 5 people now. You cannot afford to be pissing off anybody. I really don't think he's in a good position, especially come swap. It's not going to be good for him.
All right. Well, I'll just go out and I'll say JP is the LVP because JP, even though he's getting some screen time and everything, goes out, he catches the fish, and they still don't really respect him. All of the talking behind his back was like a lot of like, this guy he doesn't talk to anybody. It doesn't matter, like whatever. So he's gone. So I'll just put him down as my what are you saying?
Well, never mind. Check your phone.
Okay.
No, JP. You just said JP's going to the freaking Final Four. JP is not the LVP whatsoever.
No, I believe that JP can be the LVP because
you just I took
because you threw my guy under the bus and there's nobody else to throw out.
You got to throw it under that net. Okay, so who you have for MVP?
MVP. I actually have to look. Hang on.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of eyeballing this too.
I'll say Devin was. Wait, no, Devin's on your team. No, never mind. Not Devin.
Throw Devin at me. Let's see.
No, I'll say Cole was MVP because. Wait, you know what? Joe was MVP. Joe found the idol. He made an ally in Cole and probably Jessica, even though that might not mean anything. So I'm gonna say that's who I got. I got Cole.
I don't think God. Cole and Joe aren't even gonna be allied. I don't think it's gonna be allied. Yeah, MVP. I'm a little funky on it. I don't want to say. Certainly do not want to say Chrissy, because that's going to Vaughn. Actually, Vaughn's not even here to defend himself.
No.
I'm going to give it to Ryan again. Even though I didn't give it to Ryan last time, technically. Everyone else gave it to Ryan. But he's set up very well. He had when he was, speaking about why he would keep Simone, he was saying, I need someone who can follow my orders, who can just move to the swap with me, move to the merge with me. He's, like I said earlier, he's thinking very, very far ahead. But the difference between him and Joe, or him and Allie, is that he actually seems to have a set game plan for it. So I'm going with Ryan for my MVP.
Well, Vaughn did actually tune in. And sorry, I got a little distracted by our DMs here. So I'm going to read Vaughn's DM, and then I'm probably going to read the other DM. I hope that's okay. But
go for it.
But when people DM you, if we're live, you got to say it. And hopefully Will is listening, because I know I completely blocked access for Will to get on our Twitter anymore, so he can't tweet mean things. But I'm going to read Vaughn's first. He says, not going to be able to stay up for the podcast tonight, but my MVP is, of course, Chrissy. She's maneuvered her way into a power position and is into the strongest duo in the game. Eat your heart out, Devin and Ryan. LVP is sadly Patrick. He survived largely because of a pre-existing relationship with Allie, but his antics have put himself in a situation where he'll be a target from now until his boot episode, not a recipe for longevity. And RIP Simone, I'll always love her.
Yeah, when he said that, I thought that was hilarious.
So that's my whole thing. Like, it's really hard for me to actually sit here and say, bad. Like, you guys are wrong because Patrick's not LVP. Patrick's clearly the LVP. I can't sit here. He's my second overall pick. I can't sit here and say that he's LVP. But I really do think that Joe, at least in what happened tonight, he got the idol himself, and he would have never found that idol because he did not realize. I think this is something we didn't talk about, but Cole was the one who knew that was actually the water, and he didn't know. Joe didn't know. So he knew to go over and talk to Cole, try to create an alliance, which seems to have worked for him, at least in the meantime. He got the idol, and really it doesn't look like Cole put up much of a fight. He even went back and chopped off the wood for him.
Yeah, you could actually go so far as to say that Cole's the LVP because Cole helped someone find an idol when he should have just looked at that puzzle, or looked at the clue, walked around with Joe for an hour, been like, don't know what to do with it, get it himself. Instead, he helped this guy get an idol, and now it's Joe's.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Tough position, Phil. Should we go on to the second DM?
I'm going to read this second DM. And Will, I hope you're listening. And I guess we'll respond to this. But if you're still listening.
I guess we're responding to this.
Yeah, I guess Nick Mariano, if you're still listening, I hope you're okay with us just doing this. He goes, yo, guys, sick puzzle tonight, Will. Seriously, that was awesome. And props for actually getting on the team with Kierhofer in the first place. Super cool and glad you impressed him with your pitches. Better have you back next cycle for some more creative gems. That's dope. I mean, we've never even spoken to Nick. And he comes out and says that. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was literally, I have my phone just like sitting on my lap here. And whenever people like add us, I just kind of glance over at it and I see like Nick Mayorana DM'd you. And I was like, oh my God, this just happened at 12:36 a.m. He's DMing us about Will's.
Oh, he's on the West Coast. He's going to the RHAP thing tomorrow night in LA.
That's why I'm like, it's 12:36 a.m. Like, what is going on right now?
On the West Coast.
Nick, thanks for hopping in. Hopefully we can well, we will respond to you.
Yes, we will.
You said maybe we'll respond to you.
Well, maybe we'll respond. I don't want to.
We'll see. We don't want to be desperate.
What would Nick do?
Well, Nick's the one DMing us at 12:30 a.m.
Hey, 9:40, Alexa, 9:40. All right, let's do some. Now that we got the excitement out of the way, that's awesome. Let's do some tweets, and we'll do some comments, and then we'll get out of here because we're at 45 minutes. Alexa's old, and it's late. She keeps saying the time so that you guys don't forget. She's not saying it because she knows Nick's DMing. She's saying it because of that.
Did you know it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
There. Who do you want to start with?
Well, there's a lot of compliments to Will, so I guess we can roll through those. We don't really have to talk about them too much. We can roll through them. Sorry, Brendan McCarthy. My dad and I are still in shock. So awesome. Passion paid off. Mel, so happy for Will. I remember first watching your podcast 2 years ago, and it's amazing how far it's come. Phil and Will were killing it. Now Alexa is. Stephen Holt. Now we know what happened to Will. He looks so happy. He's never coming back. And in a bathing suit, too. I would never have recognized him. Stephen, I wish he never came back. He should have stayed in Fiji. Lloyd Christmas. Yes, we want T-shirts. Specialist swag. Be a head turner, medium. Patriots aren't that good. That's bread and a hockey stick. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what's the bread and the hockey stick? And hey, talk to me tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. But if we lose,
now you're throwing it out there, Alexa. Now you guys better win. You're throwing it out there. You're talking about smack here.
But we seriously better win.
Absolutely.
All right, bread hockey stick.
All right, now we can slow down.
All right, Connor Berry. Simone's milestone is taking a crap in the water. Poor Darnell. It really is.
Who took a more memorable dump?
I think Darnell's was more memorable just because it was the first and it was like such a thing. This was like, oh, you did the aqua dump, sick, and then they moved on. Yeah.
Darnell's was like his storyline. That was like more of a storyline than anything Katrina got. Was Darnell took a dump? Oh my God. Anyway, Steel Punch. Don't think I can have a twosome with Alan. Can't believe Survivor let that slip.
No, they didn't let that slip. They framed the entire episode around that.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Anyway.
Okay, Larry Miller talking about the stuff we need to. I always knew Phil was a hashtag wild banshee.
Absolutely. I had to cut my hair because of the Patrick comparisons. Not that I think Patrick's a bad-looking guy, but come on, guys, give me a break.
People are walking through LA just throwing live crabs at Phil.
That's it. They think I'm him. So do you have what the prop bets were tonight? Did you write that down? Because I didn't write it down. But
yeah, I got them. I don't have it up on me, but I have or I don't have it up on my computer. Wow. Patrick got the episode title. Simone got voted out. Simone went home with less than 5 votes. Mm-hmm. We had Joe and Lauren sit out, so that's separate. And then Joe found the hidden immunity idol, so I have 3. Somebody had a hashtag too. I didn't see a hashtag. Who had a hashtag?
There was a hashtag. Somebody throw it out there. Who had the hashtag? Somebody had a hashtag.
What was the hashtag?
I forget what the hashtag was.
It wasn't Aqua Dump.
No, it was not to Aqua Dump. It was later. I don't think I texted it to you.
All right. So, well, somebody's
going to send it to us. There was a hashtag there.
Okay.
Well, I think Patrick might have had it. I think it might have just been Wild Banshee.
You think so? All right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on the live chat. If somebody wants to throw it there, throw it on Twitter, something.
Yeah.
All right, we got Mel. I hope Cole doesn't seriously trust Joe. He's almost like a Tony Russell hybrid, always scheming and run around like a nut.
Yeah, the Joe sprinting off into the woods was very reminiscent.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Banshee. It was Wild Banshee. So
it was okay.
So mark that down.
All right, I'll write that down. So Connor Berry with probably the greatest that we've ever received. I was watching the episode when this popped up on my phone, and I spit out my water laughing. Connor Berry, That puzzle was cool, but Will still sucks.
There you go. There you go. Will, where you at?
Telling the people like it is.
Will, where you at?
Oh my gosh.
We got, speaking of oh my gosh, Mel, oh my gosh, that tribal was intense. 3 of my top 4 of my boot list were on the chopping block. Pat's my winner pick. Oh, Mel. Oh, no. And then she says, here's to hoping Pat can some fly under the radar now, but the preview for next week doesn't give me a lot of hope.
Ooh, there's a couple winner picks for Patrick floating around the internet. You're not the only one.
I'm kind of surprised at.
Yeah, even this pregame stuff is something. Giovanni, is Patrick going to be the modern James Miller? I was getting
that's kind of funny. I like that comparison actually.
Yeah,
as much as I dislike hey Giovanni too, like what the hell, man? Like what's going on here?
Yeah, I know.
Losing your mind, just yelling at Phil, leaving comments bad about Phil. I can't believe you read that comment, Alexa.
Yeah, Giovanni, you're getting very, very aggressive with us.
Very handsy.
We don't know what we did wrong. Gamer Girl, shipping name for Cole and Jessica. I say Colessica, which now that I said that out loud, sounds like a prescription drug.
It does, because it's like Colesk.
Colessica.
Yeah.
Side effects include.
Yeah, aqua dumping, violently.
Aqua dumping, giving people hidden immunity idols.
Yep. We got so we got Larry Miller, watch Phil and Alexa. They'll say Simona's robbed and goddess, and I hate that. I will not say that at all.
Okay.
I don't believe that at all.
That is wrong on so many levels. 1, Phil and I were very low on Simone pregame. 2, so we're not going to call her goddess. And 2, she wasn't robbed. She was voted out.
Yeah, she wasn't robbed at all. She was not a goddess.
Also, Phil and I do not talk about robbed goddesses unless we're talking about them ironically.
Yeah. Andy Vogel, Dalton plugging Survivor Specialist Will's challenge on the Survivor fan forum. Respect. I guess we got to watch the fan forum thing.
Yeah, we got to find that. Who said that? Who tweeted that? Andy Vogel. Yep, found it. Oh, I'll have to watch that. I usually watch that the next morning. Or usually watch that like on my way to work because it's like now it's like 45 minutes, pretty long. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll have to check that out.
So let's also throw this out there now too. We'll read the Twitter comments, I guess, tonight, and then we'll do like all YouTube comments on Sunday. So like just put your YouTube comments, like if you're putting them on the last video, we didn't put a link in here. Pretty much like because it's so late that we have to do these now, we have more time on Sunday, so we'll do them on Sunday and we'll read all of the comments. So just put them on this video after this video is over, and then we'll read them then. I'm just realizing that now because we don't have a link and I don't even have that YouTube video open. So if you've been posting over there, that's probably going to be the way it's going to roll this season, just because the recaps are going to have to be shorter because Alexa needs her beauty sleep.
Beauty sleep. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do that. Gamer Girl, my mind's changing pretty quickly on Cole. I now think he'll be like Colby, hopefully pre-heroes versus villains Colby, like I misheard in that last video. Yeah, I mean, if he's like pre-heroes versus villains Colby, he'll do perfectly fine.
That's what except for if he's All-Stars Colby.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, I'm gagging now. Gamer Girl. Oh, wait, that was Gamer Girl.
Yep.
Giovanni says, are Cole and Jessica going to be the Eric and Jamie of this season? I read this one from you, Gio, as much as you ripped me apart. The reason I'm reading this one is because Jessica seems very, very likable right now. And Jamie was really always kind of seen as the villain. She was never really that likable. Yeah, and Eric was like not really
relevant.
Yeah, Eric was probably like the smallest character, I would say, on that season. He didn't really do all that much. He was really quiet. He was nice to everybody. He had his moment where he was a virgin in the water with Jamie, and now they're married. Like, I'm not saying he didn't have a story, but that's just why China's the best season ever, is because like he probably had the least amount of story and like was the worst maybe character on that season. But like, I don't see Cole as going down the same road as him. Yeah,
and like you said, he like was probably the least interesting character on China, but he still had a story.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how freaking awesome China is. Aaron Wiener, Mad Pat didn't go home, so we'd hear Phil saying that it was Will's fault that they lost the challenge and his doppelganger left. Yeah, we were all ready to make that excuse.
Yeah, we were. The Gamer Girl one was Patrick trying to conquer a sphere of crabs in his video. I think she means his audition video. That would have probably been a good move because he sure came off.
What was his audition video?
I don't know. I guess that's what she's asking. I wonder if he did.
Yeah. All right. Aaron Weiner again. Bad move by Cole. He shouldn't have said anything. Then he could have gotten the idol on his own. Exactly. I think it was one of those.
Surprised.
It could have been one of those like in the moment, like, oh yeah, let's go do this together. But before this, to us, the viewers, Cole and Joe had never even spoken before.
Well, and here's my whole thing: follow Joe around. Go and do whatever Joe is like, follow him around, let him think that he's going the right way, and then go back to Jessica and say, hey, Jessica, I want to show you this. Because the two of you clearly have an alliance. So you go to Jessica and you say, hey, by the way, Joe doesn't know this, but it's right over here. Let's go find it. Because Joe's not going to know. And then you can go find it on your own, and Joe's going to have no idea. So I do think that for Cole, this was very short-sighted, and I think he was thinking so positively that he forgot that he kind of had to be a little negative.
I know. Yeah, he seems like a really positive guy, which on the whole will work out for him, but not in this situation.
Yeah. We had the Patty Joe here. Yay, Will, so proud of you. Love the dream team. #Survivor. And then, no offense, when Lauren said she's never trusted a Reddit in her life, Phil got triggered LMAO. Yeah, Phil got triggered LMAO.
Phil got very triggered LMAO.
I was like, what the hell? Like, where'd that come from? Like
that was so funny because they purposely dropped like that sentence in the preview.
Well, I also thought it was funny, like Patrick saying, like, they're gonna vote out the only redhead on the tribe. I was like, what? Like you're making it sound like you're outcast because you're a redhead.
Yeah, you make it sound like there's hundreds of thousands of people on this tribe, and like they're choosing you because you're a redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice
X. Ice X. Katrina could have shown off her Olympic skills in the challenge. Now Lauren can't show off her fishing skills. What's next? Why can't Lauren show off her fishing skills?
I don't know. Katrina could show off her skills, Olympic skills. Now, because they lost and didn't win the fishing kit. That's why.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that sucks.
Yep. Survivor CBS fans, do we see Cole spilling the beans to everyone regarding the idol? He's definitely going to tell Jessica. I don't think it goes any further than that.
Yeah, I think it's up to Jessica whether she tells more people. But I don't think he'll tell other people.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like, we haven't seen a relationship with Cole and anyone else. So why would he go and be like, I'm going to go tell Desi, I'm going to go tell Mike. Like, we haven't seen a relationship with him and anybody else. We didn't even see him in the first episode. So really, like, it's got to be him and Jessica, and that's really the whole story there. And then him and Joe. So why is he going to run and go tell everybody else?
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. Ice X, more tree clues, please. Evidence destroyed just as predicted. I really liked the tree clue. I was a big fan of that. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool because that's a different place to look, and it kind of blends in a little bit. Yeah, it's yellow, but like still it blends in at least a little. And then you can get rid of it. Like now it's just chopped up. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Ice X says, didn't Joe learn to swim just before the season? Yeah, he did, and that's probably why he sat out. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, good point.
All right, Alexa, read the last one.
I don't.
Stephen Holt, my TV was down tonight, so I'm just watching your show, and I like it. Your enthusiasm as well, your attention to details. Thank you, Stephen. I think Stephen might be moving up into our #1 fan spot here.
We're gonna start ranking our fans.
Wow, yeah, that won't result disastrously.
That is absolutely not gonna happen.
Start getting like cakes and cookies sent to our houses.
That's fine, even though
that's not a bad idea. Anyway,
anyways, the Hunger Games.
Yeah, exactly, because I am hungry. So, yeah, I mean, that's really it. We finally got Will's challenge on here, freaking crazy. We got Nick Mariano commenting over here that compliment Will and all this fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
That's wild.
Phil and I are going to take the credit for this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even going to tell Will. But I do think Will is Will's going to that RHAP thing tomorrow night. So if Nick made it this far, he'll actually know that Will's going to be there tomorrow night, and then maybe he can talk to him there.
Are you going to that tomorrow night? Oh, no.
I am not, unfortunately. Yeah, but anyway.
My priorities are not correct.
My priorities are all upside down. It's Will's fault. But anyway, yeah, so that's about it for episode 2. We'll be back with predictions on Sunday. I can't do at all Saturday, Alexa, so I hope you can do Sunday. Can you do Sunday?
Saturday I'm doing a Tough Mudder, actually, so I will be absolutely destroyed. Yeah, this is my Survivor preparation, so if I can't do this Tough Mudder, I'm probably not going to shower. Yeah, I'm going to wear my buff, my Panama buff that I have. It's going to be awesome.
There you go. That's
oh my God, that's such a good idea. I'm totally going to do that.
Yeah, don't shower.
Yeah, definitely not shower. But yes, in the meantime, Phil and I will podcast on Sunday, probably Sunday night. That's what we've been doing. We pretty much just base it around when the Lions and the Patriots are playing. So we'll be back sometime on Sunday. We'll tweet the actual time Sunday morning. But in the meantime, leave a comment on the YouTube video. It'd be pretty good if we had all the comments that we want to read on the same video, but you can tweet at us. Leave us a comment on Facebook. Phil and I are going to put out some more articles this weekend. Phil's probably going to put something out tonight. I'm going to get something out probably by Saturday. So yeah, give us a like, follow us, listen to us on iTunes, tell your friends, and we will be back on Sunday.
Yeah, see you then. Alexa, you have the X out button, so.
All right, see you all on Sunday.